So, since my 3.20 guide for Poison Seismic Trap just released, a bit early, but don't have enough time before the actual launch. So I wanted to make a quick video and not gonna read this entire thing. Make a few predictions, or basically talk a bit about the manifestos that already dropped. There's two of them, one regarding Archnemesis and the other one, which is a bit more spicy probably, regarding the jewel and some ailment mitigation stuff. Just talk about it just in respect to Poison Seismic Trap in 3.20 pre-patch notes after these two manifestos. The first one, not so interesting actually, in terms of the build, is Archnemesis. While probably a lot of people are happy about it, I don't think it's gonna affect the build at all, because the build didn't even struggle with the existing Archnemesis from 3.19 from the Scalandro Lake. So it wasn't really any issue at all there. So unless it's somehow worse, or some of these tiny side mods, if they get amplified, somehow brick the build, which I can absolutely not see how they would do. Just I went over the list that existed before, you know, what Archnemesis did before. I didn't find anything that I would consider an issue for the build. So overall, I think it's just a buff, and the build should feel even better, basically. So yeah, TLDR, wasn't an issue before, and it will not be an issue after, unless they somehow make it worse than it was before. Should be perfectly fine. So just not affecting us. Way more interesting is jewels and ailment mitigation. Ailment mitigation doesn't matter at all. Not a bit, right? Why? Because we have, this is, by the way, that's the how is it here? That's the POB. We are immune to freeze right here. We are immune, where is it? To ignite and shock. So it kind of doesn't matter, I feel like. So yeah, so much about that. We're even immune to chill if you have like proper boots. So elements don't matter. What does matter is, where is it? Here. This jewel, and if I understand them correctly, then where did it go? Unique jewels will be super rare, and that's kind of a problem, right? At least on first sight. So the idea currently on the guide, because it's still based on 3.19 and was on purpose, is to get very early on, just get two of these unique jewels. They're super cheap. They make poison chance for trap stuff so easy. So if we assume the worst case, which is probably true, they're just not going to be that available anymore, then we cannot just do that, right? So assuming they are completely unavailable, for some reason they are removed from the game, which we don't know yet. Patch notes are not out. We don't know yet. If that actually happens, we're still fine. I got in the notes like this, how to get 100% poison chance. There are multiple other ways on how we can get poison chance, right? Bunch of that is a bit later on. It's not so immediately, but one is. And the main thing that is really immediately is we can get an anointment really early on, which helps for exsanguinate for the clear skill, right? So that's really good. We can use how's it called, chance to poison, right? We will just have for a bit of a longer time until we can use other means. We will need to use chance to poison with Seismic Trap. And if we somehow can, and Deerstalkers are still available, then it's just more pressure on getting Deerstalker, which is not a huge deal. We can even there use it with the clear skill as well if we really have to. So there are still enough ways to solve it, and the thing itself is just not relevant. It gives us currently 25% extra, which I don't think we even fully need, so it should be perfectly fine. Just worst case, we need to get a Divergent Herald of Agony. I think that's what SSF players always did. So they didn't have access to this jewel as well. Entirely possible. We can solve it. So yeah, not a big deal. Would be annoying. That would actually be, in this case, probably not really intended, but you would actually nerf Seismic Trap, at least this version, again, for some goddamn reason. So let's hope they don't target it directly. So TLDR is basically, we're gonna be fine. There's other ways to get poison chance. And that was the main purpose of this thing. It's just not incredibly easy to just slap 2 unique jewels on it, be done in softcore trade, which is maybe it's better, maybe it's more interesting. Obviously makes it a bit harder. And also I marked it earlier. If we look for build enabling, to type, or minus enabling, okay. Here we go. Here it is. So some build enabling uniques can now be found from more domestic sources for exile. One example is combat focus, which can now be obtained through a vendor recipe. Some other stuff like golem stuff can it has like other sources which they want us to discover. It's cool. We're gonna discover them. Since combat focus and that other thing, I feel like maybe they also consider our jewel to be build enabling, and they just give it a different source, and it's just like a midterm. You don't immediately out of the campaign buy 2 of them, but maybe it's some boss, it's a vendor recipe, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's a map boss. Maybe map bosses actually get unique stuff. That would be cool. Who knows? So I suspect, reading this, that it's somehow differently obtainable, and it's not gonna be an insanely difficult drop. I don't think they're going to remove it. I think they are aware that it's used for builds and would kind of make it harder for them. They're kind of build enabling. They're kind of cool jewels. So yeah, so far, Manifestos seems fine to me. Archnemesis buff and jewels might be a bit annoying, but nothing to worry about. Bye.